This is a souvenir from the 1964-1965 World's Fair in New York City. The NYWF, New York World's Fair. The theme of that fair was space age, and this reflected that. And this is the rocket ship version, which actually, one of these three coins that were in that bank, possibly from the early 60s, these pennies are actually from 1963 and 1962. And they were in there. But anyway, these pennies go in here. You slide that down, and you shoot it up into the bank. We're going to do that in 1 second. But this is from the 1964-65 World's Fair. The atomic age, the race for space. The United States was in a race against the Soviet Union to get into space. That was the theme. That was the future theme. And this fair, actually, Walt Disney or Disneyland, Disney participated extensively in this fair. And if you've seen early Disneyland footage and you're familiar with, I believe it's Futureland or Spaceland. Sorry, I'm not the biggest Disney person. I know there's real big fans out there. But it's the one with Space Mountain and everything. That whole style was like a lot of this fair. And as a matter of fact, there was a big Disney influence in the form of, they had a Ford exhibition that later would become the People Movers at Disneyland. Actually, what's funny is the pavilion itself. I'm from San Diego. For a long time, we had a company called Drew Ford, which looks exactly like that pavilion. So that style of architecture, by the way, is called Googie style. And it was a very strong style in the mid-50s to mid-60s. Very popular in Southern California and in the Southwest, but especially Southern California, I would say specifically Los Angeles area, with drive-in type dining. That's where fast foods really got their stronghold. So that's the style. Other things, I believe, from this fair, yes, from this fair, the It's a Small World exhibit came, and there was a bunch of other Disney kind of stuff too. But the main theme of that fair was obviously space age, the future, atomic, getting to space, NASA, rocket ships, and so on. And this is the rocket ship version of this particular bank. From this manufacturer, they also produced another version that I think they called the missile version, which was more of a horizontal presentation where you actually flung the penny across into what they call the unisphere, and that's a globe. You can see my reflection there. That's how reflective this is. I'm waving right now. Can you see that? Anyway, that's that. So what we're going to do is, this is the bank. You see? There's the globe. You don't put it in from the top like a lot of banks. You're going to put it in from the side down here. You just load that, and then right over here, you simply pull it down. It's ready to go. We are loaded with our penny, and then there's a little lever right here. And let's do it. All right, the first one went in. Here's another penny. And, whoa, that one missed. Let's try it again. There, that one made it. I guess that's what makes it fun. You gotta do it the right way. You gotta have the right touch. And that one made it. So we got 3 pennies in there. And now, how do we get them out? That's sort of a concern. Now, this particular model that I have, since it's 56 years old, is not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. There's the design in the front. I'm going to feature some pictures here as well. But it's pretty good, but what's missing is the key. Another thing that's missing is, you see there's 2 little teeth to keep these atomic rings in. The top one is missing there. Fortunately, it's the top one, because these rings can still set on the bottom one. And this is basically what was intended, you could actually look at pictures and you'd see that this should probably be crossing more over here, but I think it's good enough. So anyway, so there's the rings. They actually do come off. If you want to clean this, you can remove these rings and clean this, and you can remove them maybe if you want a little easier access to the bank. Now back here, I believe I mentioned that I'm missing the key to come in here, but it's not a big deal. If you have a flathead, I put tape on there to be as protective as I can be. Flathead to go in there, and then one of these. Right now, when you stick it in there, stick our flathead in, you'll see that we can't actually move it. I don't know if you can see this right there. See that little notch? This is one reason to remove this, to get at the bank. And you can do that and then put it back on. Okay, I think this is a better view and I can do better work. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have this ready to go. As you see, it's still locked. We're gonna stick this in to that little notch, pry it a little, as you see, and then when you have it out, just move it a little bit. Just move it a little bit as we did. Now we're not in the lock little hook of this toy. That's what it is. So bring it down, and when it's not locked in, you can just pop it out a little. And see, there you got it. Now what you should also probably do is not actually lock it. If you can see here, maybe you can see this, maybe you can't. But there is a very clear area when you put the lid back in where there's little indentations. So the sides of this little door to the bank will fit in. It's like that. What I would do is just leave it like that. That's what I would do. Just so you're not messing around with it too much. There's the back. And then you just get your pennies out. Fish around for the pennies. There's the other two. Now you got your pennies out. And there's your door. Just leave it like that. So what I would do is just, you're gonna fit this back on and just move it a little bit so it doesn't fall out. And even with your fingernail, if you have a long enough fingernail or some other kind of flat surface, you don't need a flathead necessarily. You can move it over and then just kind of bonk it, pop it out, but move it back in and just keep it like that. Here's the other thing. There it is. And we're gonna go ahead and fit it back on. I actually use a picture to make this happen because I want it to be as close to the original. There's an outer ring, an outer atomic ring that goes around this to use to match up with the picture. All right, and this is the front presentation, because as you see down here, moving it back down, that's where the title is. So that's the way it's meant to be seen. Again, with our picture, we're gonna match this up. Basically just gently, let me move this up. Basically just gently roll it over the top. You can come in from the bottom too if you feel more comfortable that way. Okay, does that look right? No, that doesn't look right. It takes a few times, believe me. There it is. You'll get used to it. So there it is. 1964, 1965, New York World's Fair souvenir. Mechanical rocket bank, working really great, totally working great. Just as I mentioned, little thing there, and doesn't have the key, but there's an easy way around that. So have fun.